Hello, knowledge seekers. In this episode of 20-Minute Books, we delve into Everybody Always, a deeply inspiring book that captures best-selling author Bob Goff's heartfelt journey to live out the teachings of Jesus in the frantic pace of modern life. This 2018 publication explores the challenges and triumphs of putting love and compassion into action, even when faced with tough circumstances and the most difficult of people. Bob Goff is not your ordinary author. He's the visionary founder of Love Does, a non-governmental organization dedicated to helping women and children in conflict areas. Through his work in countries like Uganda, Somalia, and Iraq, Goff has set up schools and safe spaces amid some of the most treacherous conditions. He brings the same passion and tenacity to his writing, which is exemplified by his previous work, Love Does, a New York Times bestseller. Balancing his charitable endeavors, Goff also serves as the honorary consul for the Republic of Uganda to the United States, a testament to his dynamic impact and commitment. Everybody Always is a book for those who aspire to lead a life rich in love and purpose. Whether you find inspiration in true life stories of transformation, or seek a fresh perspective on how biblical principles interconnect with our contemporary existence, this book will undoubtedly resonate with those intent on not just reading about change, but making it. Join us in today's episode as we unpack the teachings and anecdotes from Goff's incredible experience, and perhaps find ways to apply his unconditional, daring approach to love in our own daily encounters. Whether you're a longtime follower of Goff's work or new to his worldview, Everybody Always is poised to challenge and inspire you to love without limits. Everybody, always, becoming love in a world full of setbacks and difficult people. Introduction. Embrace love to transform the world. Martin Luther King Jr.'s profound insight that only light can drive out darkness echoes through the teachings of Jesus, advocating for a world improved by the sheer power of love. According to Bob Goff, embracing this ethos isn't just about echoing holy words, but about embodying them through our daily actions. To truly live by the compassionate principles preached by Jesus means recognizing the inherent challenges. We encounter obstacles and people that test our patience and resolve, meaning that love isn't always our reflex reaction. Much like any important skill, cultivating love requires time, dedication, and gradual improvement. Everybody Always serves as a practical manual aiming to guide readers toward a more loving existence. Through compelling stories and personal reflections, the book weaves biblical wisdom with the fabric of everyday reality, illustrating how to invite these spiritual principles to the very core of daily life. In this narrative journey, you'll discover lessons on faith, reminiscent of the experience of skydiving, gain insights into why kindness shouldn't be viewed as a contest, and learn how the act of forgiveness can become a catalyst for global change. Part 1. Expand your circle of love to include those who challenge you. The cornerstone of Jesus' teachings is an unequivocal commitment to love, a love that doesn't discriminate and isn't reserved for those we already cherish. It's a radical love that encompasses everyone, even those with whom we might vehemently disagree or those who have wronged us. Imagine Jesus himself broke bread with Judas, knowing full well the sting of betrayal that was to come. The call to love expansively is paramount because in God's eyes the whole world is our neighborhood. Everyone from every corner of the planet is our neighbor. Jesus' life is a testament to this principle. Treat everyone as you would if they were divine, whether they are ill, in need, or a complete stranger. Embracing all individuals you meet is the true essence of this commandment. Consider Goff's friend Walter, who greets refugees at the airport not with suspicion or fear, but with a warm embrace and a joyful smile. It is here that the metaphor of kingdoms and castles takes on real meaning. Shunning the idea of erecting castles with tall barricades, we should instead labor to establish inclusive kingdoms, places where walls are replaced with open gates and extended tables. In fact, everyone means everyone, without exceptions, including those who might see their lives as a bastillion. During a visit to a crop drop organized by a church in Alabama, Goff observed the beauty of communities dismantling their barriers. This occasion saw various churches come together, not as separate entities or rivals, but as a singular, united congregation ready to reach out to those in need. If fostering a life overflowing with love feels like a monumental task, take heart. In the subsequent narratives, we'll delve into finding the fortitude necessary to relentlessly love others. Part 2. Faith guides us through the uncertainties and challenges of life. Believing in the power of faith has the potential to reshape what we view as attainable, allowing the light of possibility to pierce through the shadows of doubt. Consider the tale of Goff's friend Lex, a beacon of determination and faith. Rendered blind at the age of 8, his dreams didn't dim with his sight. Instead, he soared to new heights as a long jumper for the U.S. Paralympic team. Guided by the voice of a trusted companion, a metaphor for faith, he leaps towards success and triumph, even clinching a medal at the World Championships. Drawing parallels between this and our spiritual journeys, trusting in God requires a similar leap of faith, especially when we are bereft of clear indicators to guide us. Goff, a pilot, experienced this in a literal sense during a frightening flight episode. With landing gear indicators unlit, he had to trust that the wheels were in place for a safe landing. This act of faith led to a safe arrival despite the faulty lights, serving as a vivid reminder that, in life, we must often proceed with only the assurances we've been given, rather than those we seek. As we commit to faith, it equips us with insurmountable courage, enabling us to weather adversities with a newfound resilience. Another inspiring example is Goff's friend Carl, who, though paralyzed from the neck down following a tragic swimming accident, embraced his faith to navigate life's turbulent waters. Identifying with Jesus, who spread his profound message of love solely through his words, Carl finds hope and purpose in a similar capability. Using only a straw to control his wheelchair, he mirrors Jesus' simplicity, yet profound influence. Now Carl channels his faith into action as part of the Attorney General's office, dedicated to battling against injustice. His journey illustrates that embracing faith in God instills not only courage, but also imbues us with the strength to leave a lasting impact on the world. Part 3. Discover life lessons on love from the daring adventure of skydiving. When Goff's son graduated from college with the adventurous ambition to skydive, Goff didn't just stand by. He geared up to dive through the skies alongside him. Little did he know, this adrenaline-inducing pastime would impart wisdom that extended far beyond airborne maneuvers. Wisdom about the art of loving others. One of the fundamental rules in skydiving is fleeting obedience. You must adhere strictly to your instructor for a crucial 30 seconds. This rehearsal prior to the test might seem brief, but it's non-negotiable for a successful leap. In our quest to live as Jesus did, the idea of relentless devotion is a lofty one. Perhaps a more practical approach could be periodic compliance, where, in our most challenging moments with others, we choose to embrace Jesus' lessons for a mere 30 seconds. It's not a sweeping commitment, but it's a start. And these snippets of open-heartedness can grow with time, giving us the stamina to love even in the face of difficulty. Skydiving offers another poignant rule. If there's the slightest malfunction with your parachute, don't hesitate to let go and deploy the backup. Likewise, if our faith has even a minor inconsistency, if our love doesn't reach everyone, it's imperative that we let go of those broken cords and mend our beliefs. Lastly, skydiving teaches us about the importance of catching someone on their bounce. It's oftentimes not the initial impact of a fall that is most devastating. Rather, it's what happens after, when broken bones turn lethal. Such is the case in our personal lives when we face severe trials. The support of others upon our bounce could mean the difference between enduring and not surviving our lowest points. This lesson nudges us towards vigilance, to be the person who offers timely love and care, who catches someone post-fall, perhaps saving them from a grief far greater than the initial shock. Such gestures of love are not just life-saving in the sky, but on the ground, in the day-to-day essence of our human experience. Part 4. Show love to God by nurturing the hearts of your children. Goff's venture into skydiving wasn't born from a thirst for thrill. It was an expression of love for his son, a determination to share quality moments with him. Love has the power to inspire bold leaps, both literal and metaphorical, and it's this brand of love that mirrors the sacrifice of Jesus, who made the ultimate leap from divine heights to walk among us. The journey to becoming more attentive and affectionate parents begins with emulating God's paternal love for his earthly children. Offering directives is not tantamount to nurturing. After all, when children are told what to do, rebellion is often the reflex response. Consider Goff's own experience. After acquiring his father's old pickup truck, he was inundated with advice on its maintenance, particularly the need for regular oil changes. Yet, despite the well-intentioned counsel, Goff remained indifferent until the truck deteriorated. This story parallels the outcomes of sermons that focus more on mandates than on modeling God's love, resulting in adherence that is merely superficial. Instead of imposing rules, it's transformative to speak to the emerging identity of our children. The Bible illustrates this beautifully. God didn't dictate the actions of Moses or Noah. He identified them as a leader and a sailor, respectively. They embraced these identities, not through coercion, but through divine recognition. Adopting this approach reshapes the very essence of parenting, making it a process of revelation rather than regulation. By affirming the evolving identities of our children, we guide them more lovingly towards their destinies. Loving our children is not just nurturing the next generation. It's an act of devotion to God Himself. Goff, father to 3, treasures the kindness bestowed upon his children, understanding that such goodwill inevitably circulates back as a cherished token. God too delights in the joy we bring to His children. Acts of kindness ripple upwards, touching the divine heart and earning His favor. In this tender cycle of love, we find that caring for God's children is simultaneously an offering of reverence to God Himself. Part 5. True love is its own reward, not a race for recognition. You might encounter individuals who showcase their charitable acts as if tallying points on a divine scoreboard. To them, acts of kindness are a competition where the most virtuous are crowned victors. However, this mindset reduces the nobility of service to a mere hunt for accolades, straying from the essence of what it means to earnestly do good. In the end, the spiritual brownie points amassed hold no real value. Goff shares an analogy from a time when he frequented a pizza parlor with games that awarded tickets for prizes. After collecting nearly 1,000 tickets over several years, he and his children hoped to exchange them for a grand prize, only to receive a single pencil. The pursuit of doing good in expectation of gaining favor is much like this, an endeavor missing the point. God's greatest gift is already bestowed upon us, His love. Our actions should be about reciprocating that love, not accruing personal merit. To truly radiate love requires shedding the ego and the need for recognition. Goff recounts a story from his own experience. In his previous book, Love Does, he included his phone number, which led to calls from readers of all walks of life, one being an inmate who needed funds for an ankle bracelet to make parole. Despite Goff's generous assistance, he never heard back from the man. Rather than feeling unacknowledged, Goff understands that the act of kindness itself is the reward, not the gratitude or acknowledgement it might bring. Aiding others is akin to playing a supporting role. It's about allowing others to shine in the narrative of their lives rather than seeking the spotlight. By truly relinquishing our self-interest, we begin to live and disseminate love as God encourages us to, without strings attached, without expectation of repayment, and ultimately without keeping score. Part 6. Show your love through action, not just words. On a mischievous family trip to Madame Tussauds Wax Museum, Goff found himself impersonating a wax figure to fool a couple of unsuspecting visitors. His convincing act as a statue brought a revelatory moment. The empty performance underscored the truth that in matters of faith, pretense cannot stand. God discerns the authentic from the act, regardless of the facade we might present. Goff points to a biblical example from the Acts of the Apostles, where Ananias and Sapphira falsely claimed to have given all their proceeds from land sale to the poor, while clandestinely withholding a portion for themselves. The divine response to their duplicity is severe. They are struck down. This lesson starkly illustrates that it's not the appearance of virtue that matters, but the integrity behind our actions. Goff himself has grappled with the temptation to appear more virtuous than he is, such as when he told his wife he completed multiple hill hikes, a feat he never actually undertook. The lie, intended to impress, was a disservice to his health and personal growth. The essence of our faith and love for others is reflected not in our eloquence or promises, but in our deeds. A prime example is Goff's acquaintance, Adrian, an ID checker at the airport. Despite the daily stress of managing long lines of oftentimes annoyed travelers, Adrian consistently treats every person with genuine respect and kindness. His love for others isn't broadcasted through grandiose declarations, but is evidenced quietly in his everyday interactions. Emulating this requires more than verbal commitments. We must embody the qualities we aspire to. Goff recalls a children's book where the metaphor of filling a bucket with desired virtues captures the notion of personal growth. To make patience more tangible for himself, Goff began carrying around an actual bucket, a somewhat extreme yet poignant reminder to practice what he preached. This narrative illustrates a powerful truth. Deep-seated transformation demands that we do more than just speak of change. We must actively pursue it, even if it means toting a bucket around as a physical representation of our commitment to become our best selves. Part 7. Forgive the unforgivable to manifest the boundless potential of faith and courage. It sounds more like a grim fable than reality, yet in some African regions, the malevolent practice of child sacrifice by witch doctors persists. Goff's involvement in a landmark legal case in Uganda against such atrocities didn't just signify a victory for justice, it hinged on a much deeper principle: forgiveness. Witch doctors harbor the disturbing belief that certain body parts of children, blood, heads, and genitals, possess supernatural powers. Driven by this conviction, they abduct and harm children, often ending their innocent lives, which leaves communities gripped by terror for their youth. Against the odds, a young boy named Charlie survived this gruesome fate. With Goff's guidance, Charlie bravely faced his attacker in court, leading to the conviction of the perpetrator, a man named Kabi. It was a momentous ruling that would reverberate through Uganda's judicial system. Yet Goff's journey didn't halt at justice. It ventured into the realm of redemption. Convinced that the pinnacle of spreading love is the act of forgiving one's adversaries, Goff sought out Kabi in jail. There, even in the presence of evil, Goff mustered the generosity of spirit to forgive the man responsible for such heinous acts. Over time, this transformative embrace of love deeply affected Kabi, who himself began to espouse messages of love and absolution to his fellow inmates. Goff's dedication to benevolence in Uganda flourished with the establishment of a school designed to rehabilitate former witch doctors. Their education went beyond literacy. It instilled in them an understanding of the depth and necessity of love towards others, a lesson so powerful that it motivated 2 graduates to rescue another child from potential sacrifice. This story serves as a powerful testament to the extraordinary outcomes that can be birthed from offering forgiveness to our greatest enemies. It's a vivid demonstration that faith, teamed with courage and a willingness to absolve, can indeed conquer even the most harrowing of adversities. Final summary. In this exploration of Bob Goff's heartfelt philosophy, we discover the essence of living a life aligned with Jesus' teachings, a life steeped in unwavering love. Goff acknowledges the inherent challenge in such an aspiration and underscores that while professing love is simple, actualizing it requires courage, faith, and a series of transformative life experiences. Indeed, love is not a passive sentiment. It is an active pursuit that often nudges us out of our comfort zones and into the realms of the unforeseen. It involves taking leaps of faith, whether that means skydiving alongside a loved one, forgiving a wrongdoer against all odds, or dedicating oneself to justice and the welfare of others. By embracing love in all its forms and extending it to everyone, always, without the expectation of accolades or returns, we begin to tread the path that brings us closer to Jesus' example. Goff's stories and insights serve as a compass, guiding us towards genuine kindness, selflessness, and a life enriched by divine love. Thank you for joining me today on this journey of learning and discovery as we explored the insights of another thought-provoking book in our growing library of knowledge. If you've enjoyed our time together, please take a moment to follow our podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and share 20-minute books with other knowledge seekers. Your support truly means a lot. Don't forget to join me again in the next episode, where we will delve into another enriching book. Until then, happy reading and happy listening.